A recent report has surfaced, suggesting that WWE has been forced to rethink its original plans for Charlotte Flair due to the way fans have been reacting to her return. Initially, the idea was for Charlotte to be a full-fledged babyface during her WrestleMania 41 storyline against Tiffany Stratton. However, WWE is now tweaking her character, leaning more toward a heel persona after realizing that fan reactions weren't as straightforward as they expected. Many fans have been discussing this report, and the general consensus is pure shock. How did WWE ever believe that a full-on Charlotte Flair babyface run would actually work, given the way her return was booked, along with the fact that she's facing off against a young, fast-rising star like Tiffany Stratton? There were plenty of red flags right from the start. It's almost impossible for fans to believe that WWE overlooked those glaring issues. One of the biggest problems? Charlotte winning the Royal Rumble completely shattered any hopes of a successful babyface storyline. When you think of some of the most legendary babyface runs in WWE history, they all have one thing in common: a massive setback, a crushing defeat, something that makes fans rally behind them. That's exactly why moments like John Cena's Royal Rumble loss worked so well. He faced a major struggle, and that made people root for him even more. But Charlotte? She returned and immediately won the Royal Rumble. Where's the struggle? Where's the adversity that makes fans emotionally invest in her journey? Instead of a natural underdog story, WWE set her up in a match against Tiffany Stratton, a fresh new champion who fans are genuinely excited to see thrive. That's a tough spot for Charlotte to be in if the goal was to make her the hero of this story. Fans are now looking at this matchup and asking themselves, do I really want to see Charlotte Flair win her 15th world title? Or would I rather see Tiffany Stratton continue her exciting first reign? And with that kind of dilemma, it's nearly impossible for Charlotte to be perceived as the ultimate babyface. To make matters worse, WWE's women's division is currently filled with young, hungry champions, so Charlotte naturally comes off as the veteran trying to cut their reign short. Maybe if WWE had taken a slow burn approach, allowing Charlotte to struggle and claw her way back to the top, a babyface run would have been more believable. But with her Royal Rumble victory happening so fast, that opportunity was completely erased. Now, WWE is scrambling to adjust. The company has realized that their original plan isn't clicking with fans, and they're making last-minute changes to Charlotte's character as WrestleMania 41 approaches. This version of Charlotte that we're seeing, it's not what WWE originally had in mind. But now, they're forced to pivot based on fan reactions, and it'll be interesting to see how this all plays out moving forward. Now, let's dive into this intriguing theories surrounding Dominic Mysterio. The Judgment Day's leadership situation has been a hot topic ever since Edge was booted from the group. After that shocking betrayal, the faction made it clear they would never have an official leader again. But over the years, we've seen moments where Rhea Ripley carried herself as the one in charge. Then there were times when Damian Priest hinted that he was the leader. And now, Finn Balor seems to be calling the shots, at least in his own mind. But while all eyes have been on them, Dominic Mysterio has been making some surprisingly bold moves in the background. It's not the most obvious storyline in the Judgment Day right now, but if you look closely at Dominic's recent actions, it definitely seems like he's cooking up something behind the scenes, something that even Liv Morgan and the rest of the group don't see coming. Think about it, Dominic has been securing tag team title opportunities, he helped Finn qualify for the Elimination Chamber, he's keeping Liv happy, and he's got an interesting connection with Chad Gable. So what exactly is Dominic planning? Fans are starting to speculate that he might be creating a backup plan, just in case the Judgment Day crumbles. Could this even be the foundation of a brand new faction? Dominic has been cozying up to Chad Gable after giving him that mysterious contact information. And let's not forget, Dominic made sure to let Gable know that he owes him a favor for it. So who is this mysterious individual? And is Dominic just using Chad as a pawn to bring this unknown figure over to Raw? Then there's another theory buzzing around: what if Dominic is secretly aligning himself with Logan Paul? Both Dominic and Logan have openly expressed their desire to form a tag team, aiming to become the most hated duo in WWE history. And now that Logan is officially on Raw entangled in a mini feud with Rey Mysterio, this could be the perfect moment for Dominic to step in, help Logan, and officially team up. So is Dominic quietly assembling his own faction outside of the Judgment Day? For most of 2024, fans were convinced that Finn Balor and Liv Morgan had a secret scheme in the works, manipulating the group from within. But based on everything we're seeing now, it might actually be Dominic who's pulling the strings. We'll have to wait and see how this unfolds. But one thing's for sure, something is definitely brewing behind the scenes. Now, let's talk about a very interesting moment from SmackDown that could be setting up a major rivalry for Alexa Bliss. While this was just a subtle teaser, it definitely has fans buzzing about what could be in store for Alexa moving forward. This moment happened on the February 7th edition of SmackDown, during a backstage segment where Nia Jax was deep in conversation with Tiffany Stratton and Charlotte Flair. Nia was making it very clear she had her sights set on reclaiming the WWE Women's Championship, but just as she was talking about her plans to dominate the division once again, she was suddenly interrupted by none other than Alexa Bliss. Now, here's where things get really interesting. Alexa didn't say a single word, she simply walked out, making her presence felt in an eerily silent way. But despite the lack of dialogue, the tension was undeniable. The moment that had fans talking, a tense stare down between Alexa and Nia Jax. And what made this even more fascinating was Nia's reaction. She immediately put her arm out in front of Candice LeRae, almost as if she was protecting her from Alexa. It was subtle, it was brief, but it spoke volumes. Why is this so important? Because Alexa Bliss and Nia Jax have a long and complicated history. Before Tiffany Stratton, before Candice LeRae, before all of these new rivalries, Alexa Bliss and Nia Jax were best friends. And not just casual allies, they were inseparable. They even had their own team name, Team Rude, and were always by each other's side from their early days in NXT all the way to Monday Night Raw. But as we know, things took a dramatic turn when Alexa Bliss was caught talking behind Nia's back. That betrayal led to one of the biggest fallouts in the women's division, culminating in a heated WrestleMania 34 feud. It was in that match that Nia Jax finally got her revenge, defeating Alexa Bliss and winning the WWE Women's Championship for the very first time. That moment marked a turning point for both of them. But here's the thing, they never got a proper rematch. Since 2018, they'd had occasional run-ins, but WWE never revisited that feud in a meaningful way. Now, here's where things get really exciting. If WWE does decide to revisit this rivalry, the timing couldn't be more perfect. Alexa Bliss has always had a history of unfinished business, and if she's leaning into her darker side again, especially with her past Wyatt connections, then this could be an incredible full-circle moment. Think about it, Alexa Bliss's entire character arc has always been about history, revenge, and mind games. She doesn't just let things go, she remembers. And now, after years of being away from Nia Jax, she could be looking to settle the score once and for all. But the big question is, what would a modern-day feud between Alexa Bliss and Nia Jax even look like? Would Alexa be seeking revenge for her WrestleMania 34 loss? Or could she be up to something even more twisted? Maybe she doesn't just want to beat Nia Jax, maybe she wants to control her. One thing's for sure, that brief moment on SmackDown was not an accident. WWE doesn't just throw in moments like that for no reason. So could this be the beginning of a new rivalry? Could we see Alexa Bliss and Nia Jax finally clash again in a major storyline? Only time will tell. But one thing is clear, this feud has unfinished business, and Alexa Bliss never forgets.